Okay, so I'm getting ready to pour my second layer, which is going to be a very thin layer. Think of this as the glue for the flowers. I've pre-planned out what flowers are going to go in. Again, I'm going very, very thin, like paper thin. You have to make sure you use the clear mold. I know I keep repeating that, but if you don't use a clear mold, you can't cure from the other side when you're working with UV. Okay, so again, I'm going to put in my first piece, which is, I did not dye this phlox. This phlox is its natural color. It is a light white with a very soft hue of purple. And I'm doing this off-centered. I utilize whatever I have on hand. Usually it's a wire, even a bobby pin to manipulate it in. I don't want to touch the resin with my fingers. So I will ever so gently manipulate it. And again, I don't really have to worry about this curing on me because it's not in UV light right now. So that's my first step. And we're just going to I really wanted this to have some edge so I can have other elements in there. All right, let's get that. Now, do not do what I did the first time I did this, which was layer too many things on at once. This needs to get set, because if I start adding in all my other elements, like the Queen Anne's lace and the beach flower that I have here, the UV light will not get through to the resin and won't cure. And you're going to be in a mess. It's just going to be a pickle. So you really have to make sure that there's no air bubbles. That's number one. And you've got it pressed down. And you're like, well, how do I make sure there's no air bubbles? Well, if you use a really thin layer and you go really slow, you're not going to have that problem. I do sometimes still have air bubbles. I'm not going to say I don't. I either embrace them, like I have some pendants I make with turtles, and I actually will leave the air bubbles in because they look like they're breathing then in the water. They're blowing out some air. And sometimes they don't really affect the piece, but in this case, you really don't want that many. So now this is going to go in that you can see that blue light go on, and it's going to cure on both sides. I'm going to do about 3 minutes, and we'll be back in a moment.